Hi, Denise here, and this is Ask Denise. Sue has asked me what she can do about her super tight psoas and what she would like to do with her psoas is calm it down. And then also when she works her core, she seems to get a lot of psoas activation. So how can she get her core strong without keep irritating the psoas? Okay. Oh, there's a lot I can say about this, but I'm going to start with let's just think about the psoas's connection with the nervous system. This is a really important thing to recognize. Sometimes we don't always think about it. Your psoas is it's like a very primitive muscle. It really responds to stress by tightening. And maybe tightening is not the right word. It's like there's extra tone, it's more active and more reactive when you're under stress. So one of the best ways to calm the psoas down is just to calm the nervous system down. Okay, so I'm going to show you a couple tools for that. One of them is fairly direct, and if you're not really used to like mindful work, this will probably appeal to you. So it's just working with the ball and working on compressing and releasing the psoas with the ball. So just lying right down on it and working with your breath. Already working with the breath is very calming to the nervous system, so that's great practice right there. And as usual, I'm pushing out with the ball as I inhale, and as I exhale, I'm just going to soften and try to let my body melt around the ball. And then I'll push it out, and then I'll melt it back on. You can do that as many times as you like, but I suggest at least 3 times. Then when you're in a little deeper as a result of that, you're going to bend and straighten your knee. So that will create a little bit of sliding action underneath that tissue, sort of between the ball and your psoas. And then you can windshield wiper the legs. That helps you get in a little bit deeper. And then you can work with hip extension. So this is sort of a mini hip extension. This is more hip extension if your body is able to go there. So don't worry if you're not, because if you have a really active psoas, this is already going to be intense. So work very slowly and take your time and use your breath. Use your breath. That's very important. Okay, so what else might help you here is just directly working on the breath, and that's working with releasing the tissue around the diaphragm too. So working across here. All the same techniques really, but I do tend to use the body here rolling across the ball. Again, so you have to do this with your breath and do it much slower than I'm doing it right now. I'm just trying to save time. But use your big full inhale, big full exhale, moving across the ball like that. You can also keep the upper body still and move the lower body. That's also going to help you. Do the pushing out with the abdominal wall and then sink back on. All of that has to be done under the rib cage, not on the rib cage, so into that soft tissue underneath. Big, big breathing as you do that. So breathing already calms the nervous system, and then working with those tissues is going to really help you. Okay, so that's one way of calming it down. Another really good way here is to work with some Hana Cymatics. So I've shown this before, and this again, I'm going to really speed this up because it has to be very, very slow, mindful work. And I have this pack on my back, so I'm going to move that a little bit. So this is the arch and curl. So you would begin with an inhale, letting your belly spill like balloon out and creating extension through the spine. Notice how my shoulders are going to fall back and my head ponytail's in my way, but it's going to make my chin tuck. And then as I exhale, I'm pulling my navel down, I'm tilting my tail up. I'm going to let my chest get pulled into that too, and then my chin points up. So then we would go between those two. Inhale, arch and curl, and exhale, drain into your navel. So this has to be very, very conscious work, way slower than I'm doing it. Work with your breath and those two positions. You're going to go back and forth. Again, this is for your nervous system. It's for your reaction patterns. Overactive psoas really indicates a red light reflex. That's our startle reflex. So it's very strongly connected to that. You might actually want to look into that a little bit more too. One more position you can do here. And this is also from Hana Cymatics. So I'm going to put something under my foot so I can slide it out. And I'm going to inhale, curl the leg forward. Sorry, that's inhale, arch. Exhale, curl it all in, bring the leg in. Inhale again, put my foot down. And then just slowly slide it out as I exhale. So that slow release has to be conscious. You can't be thinking about something else while you do this. Then you're going to inhale, arch back, and exhale. Inhale, put the foot down, and exhale, release. Very, 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 very slowly. Let your body sense the release for a moment, and then you can do another cycle. Okay, so it's coming in, and then it's bringing the foot down and sliding it out. Okay, the sliding out is the most important part. And it doesn't have to be a tight contraction as you bring the thigh in or anything like that. Okay, so those are a couple of nervous system practices, and then you can just work with your foot to core connection, and then the other thing, you want to know how to work your abs without over-activating. So in something like Navasana, where people really get the psoas super active, I just suggest that people push their feet into the strap instead. This activates the back side of the body. So that's our other strategy. Activate the other side. So in core work, I'm pushing here. You can also get pretty good core activation with little bridge pose. And what else did I have for you? Little bridge pose and yeah, like just even working with hamstrings, you know, working with hamstrings and glutes, sliding out, pulling in. This is working your core because probably your backside is probably not well balanced with the strength of your psoas. So let's balance that out, and maybe they're going to calm down a little bit because there are antagonists to each other. Yeah, so focusing on other core work where you don't have to flex your hips. That's the other thing. Okay, so when there's no hip flexion called for, you're less likely going to have psoas activation. Okay, so I'm hoping that's going to help you. So release with the balls. Release, work with your nervous system and your breath. And then work with the opposite side. Strengthen glutes, hamstrings, low back. And then you're going to work with not using hip flexion to strengthen your core. Anything but that. Okay? Try that out, Susan, and tell me how that works for you, okay? Thanks so much for asking the question. Bye for now.